Sitting in the courtroom waiting for my wife's lawyer to finish his opening statement, I couldn't help but marvel at how my life had changed in such a short time. How I had gone from being a happily married man that everyone talked about to someone who, as they say, always finds out about everything last. "Stick to the point, Mr. Jeffries," ordered the judge, the Honorable Sir Winston Jenkins, rebuking my wife's valet and confirming my previous opinion of him as an old grumpy bastard. "I am trying to say, Your Honor," Jeffries replied cautiously, "that if my client's husband, Michael Jones, had been more honest with Mrs. Jones, we would not all be in this courtroom this morning." "Very well, counsel," agreed the kind judge, "but stick to the point." "Well, 1 point for her, but what did I care?" Jeffries continued to mumble, intent on proving to everyone that my wife's actions were justified and that I was to blame for everything, but I tuned out, losing interest in his ramblings, and my thoughts returned to the day that had so tragically changed my life. That day. I had several meetings that day, but except for the last one, I couldn't concentrate on any of them. How could I concentrate when my own boss had placed such a huge responsibility on me? "For God's sake, Mike," he threatened me when I sat down in front of him. "Are you blind? Don't you really understand what's going on?" "What are you talking about, Tom?" I asked, surprised by such an outburst from my boss, who was also one of my best friends. "What did I do?" "Not you," he growled. "Your damn wife. She's at it again." "Oh, shit! Who is it this time?" I just shuddered, realizing what he was talking about without any further explanation. I knew Tom had helped me get through the last time Jane cheated on me. He advised me to make up with her, but to keep an eye on her in the future. Apparently, he did that for me, and he did it better than I could have. "Gerald Half-Punch," Tom said so matter-of-factly that I had no doubt he was telling me the truth. "Do you know him?" I nodded in confirmation and said I'd met the creep a few times at Jane's work parties. Tall, dark, you know the type. I used to think Jane had good taste. Bad enough she'd broken our marriage vows again, but with a nobody like that? Our meeting ended with Tom warning me not to do anything stupid. Although this time stupid didn't include kicking her out onto the street. I needed to plan everything, and I wasn't in a hurry. But I had no idea how serious this whole thing was going to get. "My client has never denied her actions." Jeffrey's sharp voice broke through my self-imposed veil. "It's all a question of justification. Who is really to blame?" "Not me," I muttered to myself, and returned to my recent memories. I sat and waited for Jane to come home, knowing that this time, yes, this time her actions couldn't be swept under the rug. Yes, this time she would pay the price I should have bargained for last time. "Hi, honey," Jane greeted me as she entered the living room. "Why are you sitting here in the dark?" "Waiting for you," I replied curtly, and the tone of my voice made her fall silent. "What's wrong, dear?" "Gerald Half-Pinch, that's what's wrong," I growled, and her face fell, reflecting her guilt. Perhaps she felt so guilty that she didn't even try to deny it. "I'm sorry. I didn't want it to go this far. It was just harmless flirting that got the better of us." I snapped out of my thoughts when I heard my name being called and realized it was finally my turn to address the court. But even as I nervously stepped forward and even as we went through the formalities of taking the oath, I couldn't stop thinking about the last few minutes I had spent with Jane. "I'm sorry, Mike," Jane said when I didn't respond to her previous words. "Of course it's over. I'll tell him tomorrow morning at work." "It's not that simple, Jane," I muttered, fingering the piece of paper in my hand and wondering where I would find the courage to tell her what I was about to say. "It's not that simple, Mike," Jane tried to reassure me. "But we got through it last time, so we can get through it this time." "Not this time, Jane." "Of course we can, honey," she smiled at me. "I never had feelings for him. It was just sex. Nothing more." "Unfortunately, that wasn't the case this time, Jane," I replied grimly, placing the paper on the table in front of her. "What's that?" she asked. "I didn't bring my glasses. Not a divorce? You must be joking. If you believe that—" "Worse," I interrupted loudly. "Warminster-on-Sea Regional Health Authority," Jane read, squinting as she unfolded the paper in front of her. "What does this have to do with us?" AIDS, I shouted at her. "Fucking AIDS, HIV, whatever you call it. That's what it has to do with us." "Did you get tested?" my wife muttered, stunned by the evidence of her apparent infidelity, staring blindly at the untouched, treacherous paper lying in front of us. "What do you think it looks like?" I shouted back. What else could be said or communicated? What was the point? Jane, my wife, slumped down without even asking me if it could have been me who had cheated on her, knowing full well that she was the only one who had ever been unfaithful in our family, knowing full well where this terrible disease could have come from and what it could mean, even today, a potential death sentence. Without a word, she jumped to her feet and ran out into the street, the screech of her tires as she sped away audible for several blocks. "Mr. Jones, can you hear me?" Well, that certainly brought me back to the real present world. "Yes, of course. I'm sorry, Mr. Jeffries," I replied, shaking my head to clear my thoughts. "Mr. Jones," he continued, "we understand that you have discovered that your wife was having an affair behind your back?" "It was hardly an affair," I muttered distractedly, "but she definitely slept with that bastard halfpence." "Silence in the court!" My blunt statement caused a commotion among those gathered, and relative silence returned as the honorable judge ordered me to express myself more politely. "As you say," my wife's lawyer continued, looking at me like a shark eyeing its prey. "But you must have realized what effect it would have on her to admit that she had infected you with AIDS, that she must be infected too?" "Upset her, I suppose," I agreed, seeing no point in denying it. After all, that was my goal. "Upset her so much that she got in her car, found Mr. Halfpink, and, in a state of extreme emotional distress, ran him over on the street outside his office?" "Not a bad result, huh?" I grinned, and the courtroom erupted again, and order had to be restored, and I had to watch my words again. "You don't care, Mr. Jones," Jeffries blurted out. "You don't care that because of your heartlessness, a man will have to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair?" My inaudible reply that not only did I not care, but I was actually damn pleased with the result was drowned out by cries of objection from the other side, who jumped to their feet. "Objection sustained," ruled the judge. "Mrs. Jones is on trial here, Mr. Jeffries, not Mr. Jones. Keep your questions coming." "No more questions," Jeffries growled, sitting down and realizing he wasn't getting anything out of me, and the prosecutor took his place, struggling to suppress a smile. "Just one question, Mr. Jones. Just for the record," he began. "You don't have AIDS, do you?" "I hope not," I replied, rather smugly. "The letter from the Warminster Regional Health Council that led to this unfortunate incident," he continued. "As far as we know, Mrs. Jones never read it, so what was it about?" "Nothing special," I replied to the court, unable to hold back a smile. "Just a reminder that I have an appointment next month to have an ingrown toenail checked out." I didn't wait for the trial to end, and it's still going on as I sit in a pub near my house, enjoying a pint of the best bitter, and the outcome won't affect me anyway. Whether she's convicted of attempted murder or not, we broke up. They can't convict me for a little white lie. Speaking of influence, I can't say the same about the short skirt and low-cut top that Mary, the barmaid, is wearing today. Interesting? Beautiful legs, firm breasts, and a cute face. Interesting? I need to find something to do for the next few hours.